I'm Dixie Dixon. I'm a commercial fashion and lifestyle photographer. I guess you could say I'm based in Dallas, Texas, but sometimes I feel more at home on the airplane because I am traveling so much these days. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and I went to TCU in Fort Worth, so I ended up moving to Dallas after college. I grew up an only child, so I think I had to find ways to entertain myself, and photography was one of those ways. So I can remember being super little and posing all of my stuffed animals for pictures when I was like really little. So I think that my folks, they've always been really supportive of my career and definitely helped me launch my business. I always was very inspired by pictures and magazines. I was always like looking at books, mainly the pictures, not so much reading them. And I think that I was always visually inspired. I've only had photography jobs. I ended up doing Little League photography, wedding photography, portrait photography, event photography. So I've done every genre of photography there is, and I think that trying all these different genres helped push me towards the commercial fashion industry, and when I really fell in love with commercial fashion lifestyle. So I've basically been a Nikon girl forever. I mean, my first camera that was handed to me was a Nikon FG, and then fast forward, I've owned just about every Nikon DSLR there is. You know, I've kind of grown my business and grown my equipment. So I have a wide variety of clients that I shoot for, and I do a lot of lifestyle photography for companies like Nikon, Disney, and I also shoot for pharmaceutical companies, like they do ultrasound therapy. It's a company called Ulthera. So I kind of have to be very versatile in the way I shoot, and it keeps it interesting. I think a lot of my photographic influences were a lot of the photographers that were getting published in Vogue and all the big magazines, like Patrick Demarchelier, Richard Avedon. And also, you know, I had a great mentor, Jeff Licata, who I studied abroad in London with, and fell in love with fashion photography at that moment. He really inspired me to work with a team of people in order to create images. And so I think that's when the fashion photography genre hit me, like, this is what I want to do with my life. I'd say the best part of my job is getting to know people and connect with people, and it's visually inspiring and creatively inspiring when you get a team of people together and you create something that you couldn't have created by yourself, and I think that's what drives me to keep creating. I think this business gets me out of my shell. I'm definitely an introvert, and an introvert that can be very extroverted when I need to be. But I think that I love the feeling of being surrounded by people who are creatively on their A game and trying to create, and they're full of passion, and I love being in that energy, in that space. And so for me, it's an amazing experience that I almost feed off of. I think the most incredible experience this past year was shooting for the Nikon D5 campaign, because it's their flagship camera, and it was such a huge honor, and we had such an incredible dream team as part of the whole process. So I think that's definitely one that goes down in the books. If I wasn't a photographer, I think I would definitely be a musician. I wish I could sing, but I can't sing, so I played saxophone growing up, and I've always loved music. I think that music can really set the tone, and so literally for every shoot, a lot of times I like to create the shoot's own playlist that sort of showcases the mood of the shoot and helps me get in my zone. I think I'm the most happy when I am completely in the present, and I think it's really hard these days for us to live in the present moment when we are constantly on our phones, technology, emails, and I find that I'm most present when I'm shooting, because I'm so in that moment that sometimes I don't even hear what people are saying behind me just because I'm so focused. And I love that moment because I'm just so focused on what I'm doing, nothing else matters. I wanted to create this tutorial because when I was starting out in photography, there weren't resources like you have now where you can go online and learn so much about a genre of photography. And just having this would have really helped elevate my career. And so I wanted to sort of give back and share what I've learned so far, because I've had so many great mentors and people that have helped me along the way, and creating this tutorial helps reach a lot more people. I think the biggest thing that will accelerate your career is honestly finding your style in photography. And you don't find your style by going out in search of it. It's really a constant exploration of your own soul and your own voice. And so getting to know yourself is the key to expressing your style. Taking photos is a very different thing than making photos. And if you can have a vision and craft an image with a team that fits your vision, you're very much making that whole dream happen. So I think it's a very different thing, and I think making photos, I think I wouldn't be me without it.